Good morning, everyone. My name is Karlee Johnson. I am from the Mi'kmaq territory of Nova Scotia. To our Creator, Niskam, I am grateful to him for allowing me this honor and privilege that I stand before you today. You, the leaders of our First Nation population, are the men and women who continue to inspire us, the youth, to move forward with non-stoppable determination to reach our future goals. I must also add a sincere thank you to our National Chief, Chief Sean Atleo, for inviting and allowing me to speak before you all today, and for our Chief of Eskasoni, Leroy Denny, along with Mi'kmaq Namadnui, our educational governing body, for making it happen. As a representative for our youth, I promise that my feelings regarding education are shared within my circle of friends and fellow classmates. Most of us agree that it is education and/or training that determines an individual's success. I'm a grade 11 student attending the Chief Ellison Bernard Memorial High School in my First Nation community called Eskasoni. I'm a fluent speaker in my language, Mi'kmaq. On behalf of my fellow youth, I am offering you a glimpse into the positive direction that our education has taken since we established a program that involved Mi'kmaq children like myself to be immersed in a custom-tailored program which educates us in our first language, Mi'kmaq. I was one of the 23 students who initially completed our early school career in total Mi'kmaq immersion. It is my goal today to show you firsthand the continued success that myself, along with my peers, have accomplished since becoming the first group of students to have completed the Mi'kmaq Immersion Program. The program continues to be offered from kindergarten to grade 3. At the beginning of my presentation, I will be speaking in my language, Mi'kmaq. It is my hope that you will appreciate the sense of pride that has been instilled within me by all of the people who have supported and delivered the Mi'kmaq Immersion Program, starting with the children, our parents, our families, our communities, our teachers, our school boards, our governing education systems, such as our Mi'kmaq Ginambanui, or in summary, our people, Mi'kmaq. Without their support, programs like this would not touch the lives of our children, our youth, our future. These are programs that still instill pride and confidence to succeed in Western society. It is a proven fact that in order for a child to excel in the second language, they must be proficient in the first language. Many years ago, our language and culture was shunned upon by the systems, such as the residential school systems that were in place at that time. In the past, it was determined that in order to succeed in Western society, we had to speak English, the universal language, but experience and history has helped us to believe that this is not so. We are very fortunate to have been given the opportunity to be able to educate ourselves in our first language and to be taught within a language program which is tailored to First Nations people and created by First Nations people. You will notice that the Mi'kmaq section of my presentation may seem shorter in time in terms of minutes, but it is because that I am able to convey the message in half the time it would take if I did it in English. That is another benefit of speaking in your First Nation language. As I had mentioned earlier, I will be doing in my presentation in two parts. First and foremost in Mi'kmaq, and secondly in English. I will now begin my presentation in Mi'kmaq. Gwe, medawulotio, ni ndalu si Karlee Johnson. Giskuk, gedu genwaden noch dandel megaderim ni dandel yilnuisimk. Dunk, ankiderim kigen giguk, Tom, a Caroline. Danju ankiderim kignegamok, ankiderim dandel gesiderim ijish yilnuisimk. Onlu imuksia gektik desigiskik, tamanin a nigamach, mulgignade desnen dandel yilnuisultiek. Desigiskik eltnanigamaham sidul nuisultijik. Newi bunayanek, Ngigu kisidasip ni gali no kinamad nuogom, danganuan muksidis, dandel gilchemk, iwi gikem nuiktuk. Deluida sikiskuk, Mi'kmaq Immersion Program. Kisidasol tip ni Eskasoni go a school board garden no. Klamen michuajish kisikinud masultido unuituk. Gejidu dip dande drixigarab dan delion nuisultig. Amskaso igada sigap 2000. Ach menegau will be miakiskuk. Menegau siawasido dan egenud muika buko kohoi. Gudenige unuita begien, unuyamasudaman, unuyamalkan. Ahalt bulewan bilaway squishinud sit hamu. Wel me do dip ni tiam sid nujignamuadi deuk. Meda negamo na bemaluk stiagetik. Laman gisio bematis nindan deliel nuisimk. Ujihudam ki amigma immersion kindergarten is a great tree. Sidnin anidap gisaduegap anige giskuk me negau nuisultieg. Laman gisio bematis ninen ulnui amasigachnuk. Sid michuajish dan kisado ulnuiktuk immersion program. Neutibun hega mushpa ulnui mabni ginamuadi deuk. Ach bilueg wudabuach. Sid nujignamuadi deuk wel medudib nig. Mera negamok menualuk siega dip min ulnui sultino. Glaman bilueg ninen kisi ulnui madisnen. Bude inige nin. Kisi ulnui madis tampas wenda an ulnui mich. Mausadam nin ulnui mkik kisaguk. Meda ekik dan smado tijik, ach ekik wenik dan gisol tijik. Dan dijunin gagi gnamasian Eskasoni, gedu mau belewidewi. Glaman gisiaba wana modis biluwe squijinula sit hamu, dan uda daba wana muksin. Gisul nui madis wenik biluwe dan weda beksi, ahaltin nui madis, ach ida wenik dan situidach. Meda ek bugwag squijinu, gisku Eskasoni dan me negau, get mi det dan delil nuich, al nuisit. Edukja kisi espignud masian, kisi kinuadu ades aglasieu, dan del milamu sinuwahan amsalayaj ulnu giskuk. Ahap kisip guadaman, kinuadu ades, dan del milamuk sit squijinu, dan del askamat migama. Bugwalk na di gohoini gesadam deladige. Gesadam abon na mahwen dan udada abon muksin, ahal mausadam abon muay dan edel wedabeksi. Egit jail so duogom ulnuiktuk, ahaglasieuktuk. With nu wal sik chigainen dan gohoi gegnu muksi, amenego nasbi honorol giskuk. Nibin pibana muksi up dulien jibuktuk, hajia captamin dan numbale with vijik, edel ginamas ultijik. Well dasi up tibibana muksianik edelabon muen, nibiala sudamam kewe teletan. Uchi mimajuinuk, danu dat siliowe. Uchid wigama, wuli nibiala sudamadino. Abon namadultie wudanaminen, glamanum sidwen, wulgato, nibiala sudamam kiga. Moikino tachoy gisidul multos buchidul nu ginamasimk. Medagilo, begisiduo, dan ginu gamuk. Eskamina aglasia wiktu, poche wistu, asikedu lumulot, dan desio, sama ultio. A help migama ginamadnoi, walalio. Uchidan Delik pisiduo dan del ginamas ultim, dan ginuk wedabek sultig, migmagi. From that being said, I just spoke in my Mi'kmaq language. Our leaders and Mi'kmaq educators together realized that the number of people who spoke Mi'kmaq was steadily declining. Without this successful program, many of my generation would have not spoken Mi'kmaq. Parents and guardians also play a very crucial role to the longevity of our first language. My parents, Tom and Caroline, both graduated from university and spoke to me and my family in Mi'kmaq every day at home. It is also the support received from all of our immediate and extended family, such as grandparents, uncles, aunts, cousins, and elders who help in the plight to sustain our identity. At the age of 4 years old, my parents enrolled me in a program called the Mi'kmaq Immersion Program, where I was taught how to read, write, and speak in my language during a typical school day. However, it was also very helpful for me to already be fluent in my language before I started school, because that was all that was the primary language in our school, from the start of the school day till the end. From what I can remember, we did the Mi'kmaq alphabets every day, and also they taught us how to read and write in Mi'kmaq. Our teacher would read for us every day in our language. I am honored today because I belong to the pioneer group of students who graduated from the Mi'kmaq Immersion Program at the Eskasoni Middle School. This program was introduced to Eskasoni in the year 2000. It was designed to sustain our decline in language and also beneficial for those students who wanted to learn about our culture and language. A lot was taught to me during that program, such as singing, dancing, praying, and learning in Mi'kmaq. The program starts from kindergarten to grade 3, where we are then responsible to hold on to the language that have been taught throughout the years. It is our responsibility to actually pass it on to others, which is what I have been doing since the day I was born. I can proudly say that most of the children that were in the immersion program all speak the language today. The teachers always had a positive attitude towards the children and always spoke to them in the language every day. The child would always be reminded, "Onuisi," which meant speak Mi'kmaq. One of the greatest joys is being able to speak my first language is when I meet our elders. I appreciate the fact that they are really smart and those that are very funny. I enjoy my conversations with them because each time there is a lesson to be learned. The way they pass on their knowledge is a very interesting and clever way. Elders pass on their knowledge through storytelling. Listening to them pass on this knowledge is a very interesting, and based on what I have observed, is that by them passing on this knowledge through storytelling, it is very easy to retain this information. It's almost like watching a movie of some historical event, and it's one of the best movies you ever witnessed because it contains information about your culture and who you are as a First Nations individual, and more specifically in my case, Mi'kmaq. Having educational programs which are sensitive to the Aboriginal learner are always successful. From this confidence, I have been able to maintain a 90+ average even in my junior high and high school. These programs give the learner an opportunity to take pride in their culture and language. It gives the Aboriginal learner a sense of belonging and awareness as to where we fit in the vast world as First Peoples. I have had the privilege of taking advantage of such programs as the Mi'kmaq Immersion Program and the Aboriginal Pre-University Science Camp at Dalhousie University in Halifax, Nova Scotia this summer. This program allowed me to actually determine who I wanted to become in the future. It gave me a quick look into the science program and to actually meet a Maliseet person who is currently studying to become a doctor. It gave me the opportunity to see firsthand where I may find myself in the higher learning. I have decided that I want to become a physician someday. It is my hope that I will eventually come back to my community as a doctor who will be able to take care of her patients in their own language. and perhaps teach the non-Aboriginal doctors the diseases that are most prevalent within the Mi'kmaq population. While this may be something that other people from other cultures take for granted, having a Mi'kmaq-speaking doctor will definitely be an incredible accomplishment that will be celebrated by all Mi'kmaq. In closing, I would like to thank all of you for taking this time to participate in my presentation and to witness firsthand a personal account of a student who has come through a first language immersion program. One thing I would like for you to remember is that not only are you in control of your own destiny, but also have a direct impact on our futures, the future generations of tomorrow. We all have the ability to reclaim what is ours, which is our culture. And within our culture sits our language, embedded at the very core of our culture, which provides a solid foundation for all First Nations groups to stand up and to be proud as of a nation. Thank you, Palalio. Merci, Miigwech.